Hello, Page Dominators. Ryan Perry here with my partner in crime, Michael Mattis. Good afternoon, Michael.
Hey, Ryan, good to see you, man. Happy TGIF again.
TGIF. It's going to be a good weekend up here. I understand Cabo's getting a little warm.
It's getting a little warm. It's the humidity starting to happen, but we still can't complain out here. It's beautiful.
All right, good to hear. Today we're going to do an SEO basic 101 class and really talk about, once you've done some keyword research, how do you set your web page or your website up as far as the menu structure, and then where should you be placing those keywords into the website?
Great. I mean, this is an important topic because, many times web developers, they just put content up there, or you're telling them to put stuff up and they just do it. What we want to do is we want to tell you not only do it, but to do it the right way. And again, the objective is to be found. So go ahead, Ryan. Are you going to share your screen? And
yeah, I'm going to give, correct. I'm going to give a real live example of a client that I worked with years ago. This was actually my very first client. I'll bring your screen up in just a quick second. I just want to give a little background history. When I first started working with this client, who's an estate attorney, she had just built a brand new website. It was a beautiful website, very well designed. The one problem is that she was not getting visibility on Google. And that's to be expected. When you're brand new, it does take a little bit of time in order to get visibility. She contacted me. We started doing work together. And one of the first things I noticed was that on her website, she had a menu for services. And within services, it was a single page that listed all the services that she did, such as probate, estate attorneys, and she did some elder care and some other things. And the problem with that was that Google really didn't understand what this page was about. She was essentially diluting the value of that page by putting all the services on there. And my very first recommendation was, we need to change your website and have separate pages for each one of your services. Now, unfortunately, at that time, she had just built the website and she was just really exhausted. It took a lot of energy for her to build the website, to make it perfect the way that she wanted it, and she wasn't interested in changing it. And I said, okay, no problem. There are other things that I need to do. Let me work on it for a couple of months and see what happens. Now, she went from zero visibility, couldn't even find her in the rankings. And within a couple of months, I was able to get her on page 4, page 5. But obviously, that's pretty much zero visibility on Google. You really need to be on page 1. And so after 3 months, I went back and I said, hey, we need to make some changes. So let me show you the changes that we made. And I'm going to share.
I think this is a great lesson. And I'm glad we're going to be introducing this. And, for the most part, it's the same information. It's just the way, as you said, Ryan, how you categorize it so that it can be found on the search engines. Plus, it's about the user experience. You don't want to have a service page that's really, really long and, really difficult to read and to scroll through. It's just very easy just to break it up. And by doing so, it's a better user experience for your customers. And of course, it's better for sending signals to the search engine. So go ahead and let's show this and talk about this.
Right. And one more thing, as far as the user experience, you're totally right. And the fact that, if I'm looking for probate, I could really care less that she does all these other things. Right. I just want to learn about probate. And from a Google search point of view, I would much rather click on a page that takes me directly to probate, if that's what I'm looking for, than her homepage.
Correct.
So, all right, so here we are, jumped on her website. And originally, if you had clicked on the services page, it would have taken you to a single page, showed everything. And what I did for her is I broke up all these different services that she provides into separate pages. So if you click on estate planning as an example, we have a title that's estate planning. If you look at the URL of the page, it says estate planning. And then as you scroll down, we have estate throughout. These are things that will teach you within the Page Domination Blueprint course. But here's the important thing, is that when we broke out all of these services, once this website was indexed, which took about 2 weeks, her website jumped from page 4, page 5 to the first page of Google, and it's been that way consistently for the last 3 or 4 years now. I forget how long I've worked with her. So this is an idea of if you're looking at your website, you really want to look at your menu structure and see how you can fit specific keywords into your menu. Now, the other problem or not a problem, but a question I get from a lot of business owners is that, hey, I do 15 things. Do I need to create an individual page for all 15? And the big question is, well, how much money is it generating for you? In Bridget's example here, her #1 moneymaker is estate planning. Therefore, it's the very top page. And when you click on it, there's a lot of content that goes into it. Now, I believe if we go into here, we've built out all these pages. Originally, some of these pages really didn't have a lot of content, and she was okay with that simply because it wasn't a core part of her business. And therefore, over time, we kept on adding to it to improve her SEO visibility for all those different keywords. But initially, we focused on the money makers.
You know, and I think this was a golden lesson because as you identified, just by breaking it out for the user experience and so forth, but also you mentioned, you know, keywords. I'm assuming, I haven't looked at this page before. This is the first time you presented it to me, but I'm assuming based on her location, she's going to have, you know, estate planning / location or location / estate planning. And that's why she's pulling up on the search engines. So we're not really beating the, you know, the search engines. We're not really doing SEO. We're just doing very simple, you know, strategies that anybody can do to get results, correct?
Correct. And you mentioned, I have a feeling if you're talking about geo-targeting,
yes.
Yeah, we didn't, with her, because her location, she's in a relatively small town. She's not in Los Angeles or New York. The competition isn't as strict. So for her, what we did is down in the footer, we listed a number of cities that she wants to be found for, so that as Google is going through and indexing everything, yes, they're going to see estate planning. And then additionally, down on every single page, they're going to see a number of cities so that there is relevancy there. And it's worked out very effectively. And I think that kind of ties into, you know, the other thing that we teach within the Blueprint for Success is that SEO is not absolute. Right. Just because you do one thing over here for this website doesn't mean you need to do the same thing over here for this website. You know, it's all unique depending on who your competition is and what industry you're in.
You know, in our marketing blueprint, we talk and we stress the fact that phase 1 is all about the foundation. So once you build the foundation out right, it's going to be so much easier to get results. If it's built wrong, it could be 10 times longer. It could cost 10 times more to get the same results if you just built it out right. And I think this is just a very simple thing to do. It makes sense. We're building out the structure and the foundation correctly so that, you know, A, it's user friendly and the search engines can find it. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, so I think the key takeaway for this video for those that are watching is take a look at your website. You know, what is it that people are looking for as it relates to you? Balance that with what generates the money for you. You know, what type of clientele do you want to attract? And make sure that you have an individual page broken out. Now, if you have 3 or 4 services that you offer, but you really, you know, it's like, if I get business, okay, no big deal. Feel free to stick all those on one page. That's okay. Your bread and butter definitely needs to be on its own page, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this is a great lesson.
All right, perfect. Well, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Either Michael or myself will make sure to get back to you. Any last second thoughts?
No, again, I just appreciate everybody. Ryan, happy Friday, and I will talk to you in a couple of days.
All right, sounds good. Have a great weekend. All right, everybody, take care.